Hello, good evening, good
Oh,
afternoon. Hello, and welcome to Ask the Mortgage Guys Live Veteran Special. We had just a little bit of technical hiccup here, but we are back. We are excited to be here, and we are going to talk all about facts surrounding VA lending. So, thank you so much for everyone for being here. Again, I'm your host, Sarah Patnode. I'll be here. We'll have your questions. You can submit them in the chat. We're going to have a Q&A section. We want to know you're here, so let us know that you're watching. Let us know from where, too. So I'm tuning here in from Minnesota. And here's the thing. I've got Randy and Kelly here. And, we've got some viewers that might not know who you are. So let's take a moment for you guys to introduce yourselves and share with us about the program. And I'll let you guys take it away. I'll be backstage here, and I'll come back for our question and answer. So make sure to submit your questions. How does that sound?
that sounds great. Thanks,
Okay,
Sarah.
great. Thanks so much.
All right, Sarah. Hey, thank you. Hey, thank you everyone for joining. And my name is Randy Erickson. I am the lead of Kevnick Mortgages branch out here in Florida. And VA lending, just a quick note on VA lending for me, it's really personal for me. My dad served in the Army, and my oldest son is currently serving in the U.S. Navy. He and his family are stationed currently in Japan. So anything that we can do to help veterans get into a home is it's an honor for us and a privilege for us. I'd like to give Kelly a couple minutes to introduce herself as well. Kelly?
Thanks, Randy. So I am Kelly Overgard, and I head up the branch in Minnesota. So I am sitting in Prior Lake, Minnesota. And Randy, you gave me the chills when you talked about your family members. I absolutely love that, and I sincerely appreciate them. And so I don't have an immediate family member, and I've never served myself. So, it might sound hokey, but it is with the sincerest meaning that I say I actually, one of the passions and one of the reasons I do home loan lending is that it's my way to help those veterans to give back because I haven't served. So I am really appreciative for what they did and what they are doing now to keep my family safe. And I really thank them. So that's why I am so interested in helping to try to change the story. Some of the things that we've been hearing about VA home loan financing, which is a great time for you to kick it off, Randy.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kelly, thank you. And just for those of you that are viewing, this is part one of a two-part series that we're going to be doing on VA lending. So this first session is more of what we call a macro view or a high-level view of the program. And we'll be talking tonight about some of the myths or misconceptions that some people still have regarding VA lending. And the second part will actually go into more detail about the VA lending program. So join us 3 weeks from tonight for part two, and we're going to go ahead and move into the part one topics. So Kelly, as we were talking about, as we were preparing for this program, et cetera, I was thinking back to the last, year and a half or so, and how we've been in such a tremendously hot real estate market. And one of the things that I didn't really see, at least on my side, was a lot of VA purchases. I'd see quite a few conventional, maybe a couple FHA, but not too many. The bulk of them were conventional, and it really piqued my interest as to why that was. So I reached out to some realtor partners, and they had mentioned when it comes to offers, their perception is that cash is king. Cash is the top or the highest quality offer, followed by conventional, then followed by kind of the VA FHA, kind of going in one bucket together. And I thought that was really interesting because, based off of, my knowledge, a VA offer is as strong as really either one of those. So I'm curious, Kelly, from your perspective, what have you seen?
Yeah, so we also in Minnesota, absolutely saw the same thing where cash is king, conventional financing, and then government financing. And it was really disheartening working with veterans in a competitive bidding situation and not having their offer accepted because people still believe some things exist for VA financing when they're not true. VA financing right now is more competitive than it's ever been. Part of my passion, I actually sent myself back to school to be a certified VA home loan specialist, and it confirmed what has changed. So years and years ago, the VA home loans were actually underwritten at the VA home loan centers by the government, and that did take longer. Now we have everything in house. We process them, we underwrite them, we close them. We at Kevnick Mortgage, we can close a VA home loan just as fast as a conventional loan. So we can close a VA home loan in 30 days, and that is extremely important in a hot seller's market. The other misconceptions, it used to be that if you were selling a property to a veteran, you were forced to pay some additional closing costs on their behalf, and that no longer exists. And then the last misconception that's still out there is that VA appraisers are harder on the properties, and we're just not seeing that. That is no longer the case either. So if we could change that story and get more of our VA buyers' offers accepted, that would be a huge win for everybody.
Yeah, Kelly, absolutely. It's it's interesting. I had the opportunity to attend a closing on Friday for a veteran, so a 23-year-old buying his first first townhouse, etc. It was an amazing opportunity, and just to be able to work with him through that process and to see how little he had to come up with out of pocket to get into that townhouse. And just how excited he was after he finally signed those papers. It was talk about getting goosebumps or chill bumps or whatever people call them. I definitely had those. It was a fantastic experience for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the seller's market seems to be cooling down a little bit in Minnesota. And I also had a recent VA closing, and that actually was a widow of one of our veterans that had served us. So that was just honestly so heartwarming to see that she was able to use her deceased husband's VA benefit, which is really amazing. And I know from a competitive standpoint and what we may see in the future, Randy, you wanted to share another thing about the VA home loans that you were talking to a realtor about recently.
Yeah. So, again, in preparation for this, I asked a realtor partner of mine, what was the one thing that he thought was most important for us to cover, and he mentioned the assumability of a VA mortgage. More specifically, if you meet the criteria, being able, if a veteran is selling and they currently have a VA mortgage on the property, if you meet the criteria, you can actually assume that mortgage, assume the interest rate, etc. We've not heard really much, if anything, in the past couple of years about assuming a VA mortgage, and that's because the interest rate environment has been so favorable and it's been so low. So there hasn't really been a need or a benefit, out there for someone to come in and assume that mortgage from a veteran. But as as interest rates start to creep up, we can expect that we're going to see that as more of a selling point and an advantage for a veteran selling a home is that assumability piece.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so glad you talked to the realtor about that because it is a good reminder. And so to clarify, in case somebody doesn't know what assumability, and you did a great job explaining it. So I'm just going to give an example. So on a conventional loan, it's just not an option. So a conventional loan, when you go to sell your property, that loan has to be paid off. So a veteran that gets an interest rate of, say, for instance, 3% today and goes to sell his house in 5 or 6 years, and let's say rates are up to 5 or 6%, he could actually, for a qualified buyer, have them assume that low rate of 3%. that he got today. So that really is a nice benefit of the VA home loan. It might not be relevant right now. Like you said, people aren't talking about it right now, but
Right.
things are going to change. And it is a huge benefit for them. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, agree. And it's pretty, pretty likely that we may start seeing, that benefit come to fruition here, sometime in the near future, 6, 12, 18 months. So yeah, I thought that was great. It's
Yep.
definitely a very, very unique benefit specific to the VA mortgages or the VA loans, and something that can help strengthen the veteran's position at some point in time in the future.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you had mentioned earlier when we were, prepping for the call, most people understand or have heard that there's benefits. So besides the assumability, there were some 3 key factors regarding like down payment and stuff like that you wanted to cover. So do you want to, again, we're going to go into more detail at the next show, but give them a higher level view of some of those key benefits of the actual program?
Yeah. So just a little sneak peek. So one of the things that a lot of people do know about the program is the 0% down. So that certainly limits the amount of money that the veteran would need to bring with them to closing to get into a house. Along with that 0%, unlike an FHA or a conventional loan where you're putting less than 20% down, especially on the conventional side, if you put 20% or more down, there's no private mortgage insurance. In the case of a VA loan, there is no private mortgage insurance, even if you're putting 0% down. So that's a tremendous benefit. And then at the same time, you're going to find that the rates are traditionally, more favorable than those of both the conventional and the FHA loans, as well. So those are 3 of the key components that help, certainly help our veterans get into their homes.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. So I wonder, Sarah, is now a good time to check to see if we have any questions from the listeners?
Yes, what wonderful information. I'm just very excited that we're doing this program tonight because there's really a lot of stigma, right, or surrounding VA lending. So this is just such a great service that we can offer to our veterans with this great information. So I do have a question that has come in here, and the question is it true that VA loans take longer to close? Is it true that VA loans take longer to close? So I'll let you guys answer that, and then I'll come back on stage here. So
absolutely. I'll take that one if that's okay, Randy.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
So it kind of plays into a little earlier, cannot give a highlight of it, but years and years and years ago, the VA actually had VA underwriters, and all of those loans had to be underwritten at the VA Home Loan Center. And there were maybe like 6 to 9 of them throughout the entire United States. So it took a long time to get a VA home loan closed. Here at Kevnick Mortgage, we have our underwriting, our processing, our closing all in-house. So we actually have VA underwriters that are on staff, and we can close a VA home loan as quick as we can a conventional loan. So that makes it extremely competitive. And when we're in those multiple bidding situations, I certainly make the point that we can close them just as fast, because I certainly don't want to speak for other lenders. I know for a fact that we consistently can close them as fast as a conventional loan, and it's a huge advantage.
Yeah. Well, and Kelly, we have seen other lenders, not going into any detail, but they're not closing them, within 30 days. Typically, it's typically 45 to 60 days. So, for whatever reason, they're not able to do that. But, based off of Kelly, what you're saying, with all the support and the infrastructure that's in place, we're absolutely able to do that in service to our veterans, and, to help, keep with the competition as it relates to, the bidding process for a home.
Yep, absolutely. And it makes me very proud to be able to do that. It makes me feel good.
Great.
Yeah. So Sarah, do we have any other questions?
Oh, great answer to that. I mean, that I think a lot of people think about that in terms of, timing, time frame, to be more competitive. So that's great. So we do have another question that has come in. So are we ready for that question now?
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. So it says, does 0% down mean that I will not need any money to buy a house? So does 0% down mean that I will not need any money to buy a house? Who would like to answer that question?
Sarah, I'm going to go ahead and take that. And this is a question that
Sounds
I
good.
get for any loan type, but I think just as important on the VA side. And the reason being is when you hear that 0% down, you're thinking that you're coming to closing with no money out of pocket. And so when we talk about 0% down, and we're talking about the actual down payment. When you look at your cash to close primarily encompasses or includes three different things. One is your down payment. The second are the closing costs. So these would be related to the title company, the title insurance, anything related to on the lender side, recording documents, etc. So those closing costs. And then the third piece would be what we call the prepaids, or setting up your escrow account. So making sure that you're set up to pay your taxes and your insurance, through your servicer on time when they're actually due. So those are the three components. So when we talk about 0% down, it's the biggest component, which is your down payment. But then there are some additional costs that do come up, the closing costs that I mentioned, and then the prepaids as well. So it doesn't mean no money out of pocket, no money at closing. It just means a big portion of that you won't have to bring to closing. You'd rather bring in a much smaller amount. I think the gentleman that closed on Friday, literally it was less than $2,000 for this gentleman to actually close on his new home. So. Kelly, anything to add to that?
You did a really great job covering it. I think you nailed it. So I actually don't have anything to add. I appreciate you covering that.
Excellent. Thank you.
That is really, again, valuable information, because I think people think zero down is zero down, right?
Right.
And so I think that, again, the education piece, that is what we're all about here, at Kevnick Mortgage. And so what I would like to do here is let's talk a little bit about, next steps. How do people reach out to you? So who would like to answer that question if they had more questions or they want to get started? Who would like to take that to direct folks for more information?
I can take that one. So we are really blessed with a tremendously powerful website, largely due to Sarah. So thank you. She's not just the pretty face behind the camera, but she's also the powerhouse behind our website. So you can definitely reach out to us, through our website. I believe at the end, Sarah's going to have some phone numbers and an email address. We're also on Facebook. So many ways to reach out to us. And then also if you have our phone numbers too. And on our website, there's actually a button that says, let's get started. And you can actually submit an application there if you are fired up and want to go.
Well, and I would say it's never too early to reach out. I get the question all the time, when should I reach out to talk to you about purchasing a home or refinancing or what have you? And I always tell them yesterday. So whether they're in a position and qualified to purchase now, or whether it's something that's going to take a little bit of time, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, the best time to reach out is now. We talk about the education piece. Sarah, we talk about the 3 E's that are the pillars of Kevnick Mortgage, the education piece. Let us help you. Let us help educate you on the process and what it's going to take. We'll help evaluate your options, and ideally present the options so you can pick the best option for you and your family. And then the third E is the execution piece, which the team at Kevnick Mortgage does just a phenomenal job. Cannot say enough good, awesome, great things about the team. So educate, evaluate, and then execute. And when's the best time? Yesterday. So reach out. We're happy to answer any questions that you have anytime.
I love that.
It is true. We do take that education seriously. So the website is chock full of great information. We keep that blog up to date, and we like to create great opportunities like our Ask the Mortgage Guides live here
Hmm.
tonight. So I am so very excited that we are going to be back here for part two. So
Hmm.
we want everybody to mark their calendars. We have that for December 1st. Can you believe December, right?
I
And
know.
it'll be here before you know it, right?
Yep.
5 p.m. Central Standard Time is when we'll have that scheduled. So be sure to follow us on our Facebook, and we have Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube channel. We will set up the reminder, but we're going to take a deeper dive
Hmm.
into this topic because I think you guys did a great job of demystifying some things for the viewers this evening, answering some of those great questions. So thank you very much. But we're going to go and take a deeper dive next time.
Hmm.
And we'll have this video available for replay. So you'll be able to come back and watch it again because there was a lot of really great information. I know I was taking notes backstage and thinking about the veterans in our lives, right? This would be a
Hmm.
great video to share out to them. And on the eve of Veterans Day, what
I
a
know.
great time to share information. So I just want to take a pause and see if there's anything else that you guys would like to share or have your shout out to the veterans, and then we can close for the evening. So I'll let you guys take it away.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I guess I would like to close out with the teaser. So, when you come back in 3 weeks, that's when we're going to talk more in detail about different terms that you hear. What is a certificate of eligibility? How many times can you use your VA home loan benefit? What if you have a VA related disability? How can that be used to help you in the home loan process? So those are some things that we're going to cover when we get back together. But I would also like to just end my portion with a sincere thank you to our veterans. I really, really appreciate everything that you do to protect my family and make it a safe place to live. So thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just end with a sincere thank you as well. So whether you've served or whether you're serving, thank you sincerely. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your selflessness, your sacrifice, and truly for making all of this possible for all of us to
Mhm.
do what we do. Means a lot, and it certainly does not go unrecognized or unnoticed. So again, thank you so very much. Happy Veterans Day, and let us know if we can be of assistance.
Yes, and I just want to put that sincere thank you out again. Here is the contact information for folks out there who are watching. If you do have questions, you don't necessarily have to wait till December 1st, right?
Mhm.
They can
Right.
reach out to you at any time, but that's when we will be back with you. Our goal at Kevnick Mortgage is it's simple. Our goal is to positively change your home finance experience. And we want to send out a sincere happy Veterans Day to all of you on this eve, the day tomorrow. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time this evening. And until next time, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Stay well. Thank you.